Good morning, everyone. Appreciate everybody being at our March 25th, 2025 Madison County Fiscal Court meeting. This is a regular scheduled meeting here at our Emergency Operations Center, Training Rooms A and B at 560 South Keeneland Drive, Richmond, Kentucky. This time, Clerk Barger, I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs.
Here.
Master Lockmiller.
Here.
Master Hughes.
Here.
Master Bakken.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. This time, I'd like to invite my friend Brandon Bunch, Student Ministries at Eastside Community Church. Brandon, appreciate you being here to lead us in a word of prayer.
Yeah, if you guys would, just bow your head with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning grateful that, God, when we call on your name and we invite your presence, that, God, you show up. And, God, right now we invite you into the space that, God, as we talk about our beautiful community and county, Madison County, God, I just pray that, God, you would give us clarity on next steps that you want from us, God, to continue to make our county better, to make our people better, and to make this a better place to live. And so, Jesus, we thank you so much for meeting us here now, and we just ask that your presence go with us. We say this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Sheriff, if you will, lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you all. Members of the court, you all have had a chance to look over our previous meeting minutes.
Make a
that
motion to
was-
approve. Second.
All right, March 11th minutes. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmiller.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Bakken.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next is our treasurer's report. We always have that on our fourth Tuesday meeting. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. As of February 28th, 2025, our total fund budget was $47,849,944.58. Our general fund revenues were 94%, expenditures 27.8%. Our road fund revenues 77.17%, expenditures 59.97%. Our jail fund revenues 64.52%, expenditures 63.31%. LGEA revenues 66.46%, expenditures 19.13%. Our CSEP fund revenues 31.08%, expenditures 28.17%. Our 911 fund revenues 74.61%, expenditures 45.46%. And our health fund revenues were 73.04%, and expenditures were 60.76%.
That's good on that. Good. All right, any questions? Treasurer's report?
And I will say, it's budget season again, of course, so Tick and Pop KRS and DLG, you all will receive the jail draft budget in your email by April 1st, so just be on the lookout for that.
All right, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I know if anybody's got an agenda, I know we said executive session next, but we're going to do all the folks here for proclamations a favor, and we're going to have them first. And so I'm going to recognize these group, and then we'll do executive session just so everybody's aware. Next is going to be the first proclamation. That's recognizing National Doctors Day. And we do have a great group, I think, maybe from White House Clinic, Baptist Health Richmond. And so so I don't leave anybody out, I'm going to allow you all to come up while I read the proclamation to the podium as a whole group, and then you all can just introduce yourselves. Is that okay? Because I don't want to leave anybody out. So if you all will, go ahead and make your way up to the podium as I read the proclamation, and then we'll present it to you, and then I'll give you all some time to get on the microphone. Whereas it is important to recognize the dedication doctors demonstrate in our clinics, hospitals, emergency rooms, urgent care centers, and private practices throughout our communities. And whereas doctors have chosen the noble profession of caring for the health and well-being of all patients across the nation. And whereas doctors are some of the most talented, innovative, and hardworking professionals in the world. And whereas doctors are working diligently to advance the art and science of medicine every day. And whereas the service of doctors and their efforts to treat every patient with the dignity, respect, and empathy they deserve is commendable. And whereas the National Doctors Day, the Madison County Fiscal Court would like to express their gratitude to the doctors that are caring for and treating patients in our county, state, and across the nation. Now, therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim March 30th, 2025 as National Doctors Day, and urge citizens to honor all doctors for their dedication and service to healing our communities. So, thank you all.
Hi, I'm Allison Moncayo. I'm a pediatrician at the White House Clinic here in Richmond, and I've been working in Madison County for 18 years.
I'm Dr. Daniel Gaspar, a chief medical staff at Berea Hospital and hospitals as well. And I thank you again for this honor. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Dr. Morgan Blanton. I work as a hospitalist at Baptist Richmond. I've been there almost 6 years, and thank you so very much for this great honor.
And I also have to even recognize retired doctors. Dr. Yin's over here with us today too, so appreciate you, Dr. Yin. Yeah. So, Bill, what do you want us to do?
If you all want to go up in front right here.
Are we ready?
VR.
You don't want your bald head in that?
Get a better picture of me.
Hey, Reagan, before all our doctors get out of here, it just so happens I have some firsthand experience with some doctoring here. Saturday morning, I spent 4 hours, about 3 to 4 hours in Brea emergency room. And then Sunday morning, I ended up spending 12 hours in the Corbin emergency room. And I just want to tell you, I've received some outstanding care from those folks, and I appreciate every single thing you all do. So thank you very much. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you being here. It's good stuff. Yeah. Our next recognition today is Arbor Day. So we have another proclamation, and we have some folks here from our Forest Service, and we have some from our Conservation District. I know, Jimmy, you've served many years in this world, conservation. And Mike, you've been on the board for?
Eternity.
Huh? 49 years on the board. And a lot of people don't know, but our Conservation District board members are elected members by the citizens of Madison County. And so we appreciate it. If y'all want to do the same thing and make your way up to the podium. Whereas the Commonwealth is graced with diverse forests that extend from the hardwood forests of the east to the cypress sloughs of the west. And whereas trees are a sustainable resource providing significant environmental, economic, social, and human health benefits to Kentuckians. And whereas over 1/3 of Kentuckians live in a community actively managing their urban forests, spending over $9.2 million on this asset. And whereas Kentucky's forests produce products are a $13.5 billion with a B dollar green industry employing over 49,000 people. And whereas trees enhance our air quality, purify our water resources, protect our soil, supply a source of renewable energy, and provide valuable wildlife habitat. And whereas forests improve our health and offer a place of recreation and solace. And whereas trees and healthy forests enhance quality of life for all Kentuckians. And whereas Kentucky observes Arbor Day the first Friday in April each year. Now, therefore, I, Reagan Taylor, Madison County Judge Executive, and the Madison County Fiscal Court do hereby proclaim April 4th, 2025 as Arbor Day in Madison County, and urge all citizens to participate in the observance of this day by planting a tree to beautify Kentucky and focus attention on our great natural resource, our forests. So, congratulations.
That's about enough to make me want to break out and sing "This Land Is Your Land."
You might be the only one, Billy, right? Solo.
Yeah, solo there. Well, I think the proclamation pretty much says it all, Reagan. And Madison County is rich with natural resources, and people love this place because of its beauty, and the trees are a part of that. And we're glad to promote that with the Conservation District. And thank Reagan for making this proclamation.
Appreciate you.
Again, it's exciting to see folks still interested. Billy Ray has served on the Conservation District. I have worked, I'm working on 57 years between the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Soil Conservation Service, Natural Resource Conservation Service, and the local Conservation District.
Was you 8 years old when you started?
I was 8 years old. Pretty close. I was about 20, so wasn't too far off of that. But you know, it's exciting to see young folks that are interested and encouraged, and we need to strive as we change in the county. We need to strive to work with everyone. Thank you all for your help.
My name is Jacob Fogel. I'm the forester for Madison County and the surrounding counties as well. I've worked with a lot of good landowners here in Madison County, and I just want to say thank you all for recognizing the importance of one of Kentucky's most important natural resources.
Shift on it. I think this is a 10-speed right here. Looks like it could go be a gear.
Thank you.
Thank you all. That chair electric?
I don't know why.
It's a 10-speed, ain't it?
It is.
Gear shift on it.
It is. You mean to go fast today? Yeah. All right. All right, so we'll back up to executive session. I need a motion at this time.
What about this,
What about what? No, we're not gonna do that yet. The multi-use trails?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna do it after executive session.
Okay.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session per KRS 61.810, Section 1, subsection C, to discuss proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of Madison County Fiscal Court. So I need a motion and a second this time, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Master Hughes?
yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. All right, y'all stay here and we'll go in the back. Thank you all. Appreciate everybody's patience. I think Billy Ray Kenny made the motion to come out of executive session. Brian seconded it. Please call the roll.
Master Boykin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you all. Next is a multi-use trail presentation. We have Beth here. Beth, I'm not sure who all's going to do the presentation, but we have several of you all here. If you all want to come on up to the podium, and if you want to introduce your group, look forward to hearing from you. Yeah. Don't get up at once, you all. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I'm Alice Jones. I'm retired from EKU, and actually, my students did a couple of bike plans for the county that were actually incorporated into the comprehensive plan.
Now, Bruce Withers, I'm a board member. Arthur Ying, retired physician, board member.
Beth Jenkins, retired board member.
Malcolm Frisbee, I'm retired from EKU. I'm a board member.
Doug Bagby, I'm retired. I'm a board member also. Avid cyclist and also interested in the community.
All right, you guys. So thank you all, Judge Taylor and the Fiscal Court, for listening to us today. What we want to do is come in and really share how we would like to contribute to the community, how we would like to be involved in the community, and kind of some of the benefits of why we want to do this. So as Alice mentioned, there's been multiple efforts over the years to encourage bike pedestrian activities within the county. We've had some successes, particularly Berea. We're kind of jealous of Berea, is what we like to say. And we like to see that extend throughout the rest of the county. And we'll talk about why and maybe some of the benefits, particularly at this point in time for the county. I think we're at a really interesting nexus point, and you guys, we see your activities. There's a lot of cool things going on, a lot of opportunities. We'd like to just be involved in those opportunities. So I mentioned to Judge Taylor this morning when he came around and said hi to us. He and I and Dr. Yen met last year in March, so about a year ago. We formed this group about a year ago, January 2024. We've got bylaws, we've got a board. We have a representative from the county. Dr. Yen is our representative appointed by Judge Taylor. We have a representative from the city of Richmond, who is actually Rob Meinrich, the city manager. And then we have at-large community members, of which you've met several of those. So we appreciate that time. I actually love the synergy of the proclamation. So you had the health folks here today, and you had the tree folks here today, and that just dovetails into what we're trying to do. The health benefits of active transportation and the community benefits of showing off our beautiful county both dovetail into what we're trying to do. So what I want to do is go ahead and make sure I can operate this thing. Yeah. So the whole goal here is to introduce our group, talk about how we want to be engaged in the activities in the county as the Bike Ped organization. Those of you, you know your comprehensive plan's coming due up in the next year. The current comprehensive plan recognizes a Bike Ped organization, but it doesn't exist. It did exist for a period of time, no longer exists. So we want to talk about how we can be involved in that. We also want to support. So when we met with Judge Taylor last year, we did talk about, you know, most communities that are successful in this, they have Friends of the Trails groups. They have community members who actively are involved in helping support and maintain trails. So we know that, you know, as a county, it's not like you have money to go out and just do a lot of this stuff. So we want to be there to help find the funding and find the process to support and maintain those things. So the main thing is we're seeking to be involved so that we can have an impact. Okay. So the benefits, I think, are well known. They're very well documented. I've got here just some highlights from a 2022 statewide plan. The mobility, we know accessibility for all ages, groups, ethnic impacts, the income. Anybody can walk, anybody can ride a bike, but they need safe places to do it. Health. We know that Kentucky and this county rank among some of the worst in the nation for weight-related health concerns. We had some data from a Berea College health professor, and we also got involved in our group, an EKU health professor, all saying, you know, this sedentary lifestyle is literally killing us. Some of the notes I have in the handouts that you were provided talk about studies show that for every dollar spent supporting trails or active transportation actually have $3 health benefits. So people who have access to these things take advantage of them, and it improves their health. The livability and economic, those two I really wanted to hone in on because, again, I know in the county you're actively pursuing jobs, you're actively pursuing industrial opportunities, you're actively pursuing bringing companies into this county to provide employment. Those things are things that companies look for. They look for how friendly the county is, how willing people are to live there. So one of the quotes I had in the notes is, this is from the American Trails Organization, people increasingly choose where to live based on quality of life factors such as access to trails, parks, and outdoor activities rather than just job availability. As a result, communities with well-developed trail networks not only retain more residents, but also attract higher income households, remote workers, and businesses that prioritize employee well-being. This shift contributes to stronger local economies, increased property values, and greater investment in community infrastructure, demonstrating that trails are more than just recreational assets. They are powerful drivers of an economic vitality and demographic stability. So a couple of things I wanted to bring out as a comparison for that. Bentonville, Arkansas, if you've ever looked at Bentonville, Arkansas, it's the home of Walmart, so obviously it's got a big employer and a lot of employers around it. But they have exploded because of their growth of trails, multi-use trails, mountain bike trails, just an active living lifestyle. And what they now have is they have realtors that actually advertise themselves as, hey, we're the trail realtor. We can tell you where to find your house right on the trail. The example in Lexington, the Brighton Trail, it's a short trail. When it was originally built, some of the neighbors were like, I don't want that in my backyard. Now realtors promote, this house is on the Brighton Trail. So we see, even locally, the benefits and how people come to appreciate having access to that. Myself, I retired. If I were to leave this area, I would actively pursue living in Ohio, where the trails are everywhere, or living in Bentonville, where the trails are everywhere. I would pursue my choice based on what access to active transportation I would have. So again, the health benefits we kind of talk about again, there's a lot of things available there. What we're seeing in active transportation is there is a lot of activity in communities across the U.S. Locally, we have Clark County is updating their active transportation plan. The Lexington area, the MPO, which includes Jessamine County, they're very active. If you've gone to Lexington or seen, there's a lot of activity around building multi-use trails. The Louisville Loop, it has a plan for a 100-mile trail, of which about 30 miles currently exist. And what they've done, which I'm going to, when I show another one of our slides, they've actually focused on connecting park to park, or active location, places people want to visit. Let's connect these places people want to visit so that I can enjoy them as a recreation or exercise activity. Here in Berea, again, I mentioned we're kind of jealous of Berea because of what we've seen they've done. But what was interesting was Kentucky Cycling, which is a gentleman by the name of Nathan Rome. He has a YouTube channel, and he published a video in November of this year that went through the full list of the Berea trails. He rode the trails, he showed the scenery. He's had close to 1,000 views in just these couple of months. So people that are following his channel want to go see Berea because he's promoting those trails. The Richmond Register in 2022, we have those from Richmond drive here because it seems to be a bit safer. So the fact that Richmond doesn't really have that, people are heading down to Berea to take advantage of it. But, you know, I don't want to focus on cities because if you look at the county, we have a lot of opportunity within the county. I did want to note, we do have, we are the crossroads for two major bikeways, the Daniel Boone Bike Route 21, and the Trans-America Trail, Bike Route 76. They cross both through the county, one kind of north-south, one kind of east-west. But they're on roads. They go on like 52. I don't want to ride my bike on 52. So that is only available really to highly experienced cyclists that are comfortable with traffic, not for the average cyclist or for the family to take advantage of. So allowing for access, this is where we kind of want to partner with you. We can work to identify funds, grants, fundraising, those kinds of things to develop, build, and maintain trails. We can actively do that. We're mostly retired, but we're a group of folks that are really passionate about this. But we need a process to anticipate the needs so that the land is available. We need a vision across the county so that as areas are developed or preparing to be developed, that there is a way for us to make sure that there's easements or access or routes to do that. So as an example, when we started as a group, we branded ourselves the Rainy Bee because we were really excited about this rail bed that exists down to Valley View, if you're familiar with that, and out towards Irvine. The problem is that was abandoned in 1932. It's been totally developed on, at least on the west side, much less so on the east side. But that's an example where there's no easements, there's no access. It would be very challenging for us to get there. However, with the growth in the community, with the growth of the Richmond Regional Park, if 169 gets expanded, and currently it's in the shift plan looking at expanding it out to Crutcher, if there were easements or access put there, then we could plan for a trail that kind of paralleled the road and provide safe travel. A very scenic, very historic route. There's still remnants of the trail available, which it'd be cool if we could embed parts of that in some kind of trail. With the Richmond Regional Park attracting resources, that would be a great opportunity for people who come to play soccer or do other kind of tournaments to have access to a trail as well. So what we highlighted here, and this is a little washed out, looks better over there, is some opportunities. So as a group, we kind of said, like, where is it in the county people might like to go? What are the historic situations or the nice scenic places that people might go for recreation? And these are just some examples. So what you see on this map is Bike Route 76 along the bottom, east to west. Bike Route 21 north to south, again, on high-trafficked roads in some cases. But then we highlighted different areas in the county that would be destinations and said, okay, if we could plan for bike routes to some of those, then those would be ways to connect the community with active transportation. The opportunities really exists all over the county. So each of you magistrates who have a county, there's opportunities. There's over 80 historic sites in Madison County, and each of those could be an opportunity to connect. We also have opportunities with the the depot and the changing that'll be occurring there, the things that are possibly occurring or what we hear occurring with the north end of the county, transportation. We've got Kelly's Landing going in on the Fayette County side, which is going to be a new park. So connectivity towards the north end of the county with Whitehall, with Kelly's Landing perhaps, things like that. So lots of opportunities. And obviously we're not saying, hey, all of these should come to pass, but it's an opportunity to explore which ones make sense and where and how we could plan for. So this is kind of looking at what has been happening in the county. And obviously, we've seen the comprehensive plan and the development areas where the county will be developing or is developing. The north end is one that kind of provides a good capsule of what, from a planning and development or a comprehensive plan, we might want to consider. Right now, this is the current GIS map. There's lots of subdivision islands. Each have a single entrance and a single exit. They aren't connected in any way, which means that if I want to bike or walk, and I live up in there, so I see people walking on 25, which is really scary. I see people running and biking on 25. But if we wanted to connect these subdivisions, particularly as the new subdivisions are added, then that would serve two purposes. It would provide routes for bikes and pedestrians, but it would also help connect these subdivisions for car traffic so that they're not all jumping out onto the busy roads and provide back paths through there. I saw you've got another study coming up for another one, 2494 Lexington Road, which is a little farther south of there. But if you overlay this with this, oh, too many jumps. You see some of these destinations and the development really do have a good segue. There's a lot of synergy between where development's occurring and where people might want to travel and visit. Obviously, Whitehall, Fort Boonesboro, good examples. Okay. So, yeah. So this kind of summarizes where we're at. Based on the Kentucky Association of Counties, it looks like we're the third fastest growing county, the 8th largest county in the state already. As we grow, this is the opportunity. When we look at what we had hoped to do a couple of years ago with Ryan EB, again, we were early, we were forming, we were trying to figure out what was possible. We realized that's a really tough challenge to try and provide a transportation area on a fully developed corridor. But if we can attack and tackle these corridors that are still in process, then we have an opportunity to plan for the trails. Now, we also know from the experience in the Lexington area, some of these things take 10, 20 years. So we're not talking about, what can we do tomorrow? We're talking about how we plan for and have access to so that as we can put together funding and plans, the opportunity exists. And the opportunity has not been lost with activities. So I think, yeah. So the comprehensive plans. So Rob Meinrich, we've been working with him. The Richmond Comprehensive Plan, which is with TSW and Bell Engineering, is going to have a recreation trails section. It's going to be a focus section. We've actually met with them and talked about how we want to beat the feet and the eyes and ears working with them for the Richmond section. We've reached out to Berea and asked for the same question with Mayor Fraley and Amanda Haney, and we'd like to ask the same for Madison County when you get together. What we would love to see is a cohesive recreation trail comprehensive plan across the 3 plans.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah, and we heard that in Billy Ray's comments in the last session. So that would be a win-win, because then we would all be cohesively together. We could prioritize which ones we would want to work on first, but we would have the plans in place and the cohesiveness in place for that work. So that's obviously kind of number one, what we would love to see. The other is I am a representative for the Bluegrass Area Development District. I'm a bike ped representative. I kind of just got myself involved in that. And we know that the shift process is active. I believe they met with you last week, perhaps, on that. The Regional Transportation Committee of the Bluegrass Ad, we have kind of some input too. So we'd like to partner with what are your priorities? Are those priorities kind of, do they help? Can we line up together on where bike ped things might happen? I know and I just listed 3, there's 3 projects that are in the shift plan, and some are in various degrees of, yes, going to happen, maybe still happening. But those are all areas that would be really good opportunities to consider how we put active transportation in association. For example, the Minnelas, I've actually talked with KYTC and Mayor Fraley, and while there's not funding in that plan for a multi-use path, there is enough land to possibly provide a berm and make that accessible so that, again, we can come in later when we can provide the funding to create a multi-use trail along that. And that's extending where Berea already has trails into the industrial park and extending that farther north, getting it closer to the Richmond area. So again, kind of following some of the ordinances and things you've got going, those are the kinds of things where we'd like to say, okay, does it make sense as these plans are being put together for us to consider is a multi-use trail an appropriate thing to coordinate and plan for in that activity? Okay. Oh, sorry, too fast, yeah. And so that's kind of the slides we have. We want to introduce a group, code to our resources and things. But if there is time, we'd like to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Beth. Appreciate the presentation. It's a great presentation. Members?
I'd like to know if anyone on your committee was a member of the last comprehensive, was a member on the last comprehensive plan when we were doing that?
I don't believe so. So
I
there
don't think
was
this
a-
existed,
yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, this didn't exist. There was a prior group that kind of died away, so none of us, no.
So I see,
Worked with that group, so that, I think that may be the one point of continuity, that then, and that's, so the very, very base infrastructure of just the language that's in the current comprehensive plan did come out of conversations in part with that group, but that group doesn't really exist anymore.
and knowing that this is coming up and coming forward, I see a really good opportunity for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you for your presentation. It's a great presentation. I think it's something we should think about. When you mentioned economic development, companies are looking for more employees and retaining employees. So these are the type of things that they're looking for, because they know that people aren't just coming to work. They have a life, and so they want to be out in the community and participate. And so I think it's a great idea. Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
We need one of these folks on our planning commission.
We'd be open, we'd love to, yes. We would love to, yeah. Yeah.
We need you.
Anyone else? Any questions? Jill, help me remember, several years ago, we, as a fiscal court, we passed a resolution to support an initiative through the transportation cabinet that when they do road improvements, when they do actual road improvements, that they have to design in their road improvements multi-use paths next to it. And I questioned it one time when they did Boonesboro Road at exit 95 and why they didn't include that little extension. Well, they said that design was done prior to that resolution that we passed. And it just helped me pull that up, because I'd like to know.
That was.
I would like to be refreshed on that.
Yeah, I actually pulled that up. That's 2024-101. It was Safe Streets for All.
But
Is that
we
the
wouldn't
one, or
have
is
passed
that a
that in
different one?
2024. This was,
Okay.
this was,
Oh.
yeah, this was like back in, maybe even sooner. This was, I need to go back, we need to go back and pull that. So, okay.
No, and I think, that's part of the thing is, there was a bike walk plan for Madison County done in 2018. That's no longer visible on the website. It was Health Department. And I think the comment I would make is, I think we've had things in our plans for years. I think where we're saying is help us be more actively engaged to kind of hold that and keep that to the forefront, because it is easy for KYTC and everybody else to go ahead and do these things, and then after the fact, we're like, well, wait a minute, why didn't we get this? So we can be those active advocates to talk about that. And again, we're reasonable folks, so we know that this doesn't, like my one drawing, you don't do this everywhere. But where are the best opportunities for the county to take advantage of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here. And
Thank you.
And y'all are more than welcome to stay. But I also know that you've got other things to do, so feel free to leave at any time, okay? All right. Thank y'all very much. Second reading of ordinance 2025-003. This is general fund budget amendment. Sarah.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-003, an ordinance relating to the budget amendment of the Madison County General Fund budget. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the administration of the county budget, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has realized that unbudgeted receipts And whereas the county treasurer has reviewed the budget to ensure sound financial practices. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, the general fund budget be amended by $22,859.42. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption, which is today.
All right, members of the court, you've heard second reading of ordinance 2025-003. What's the pleasure of the court?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, this is the second reading for a budget amendment to the general fund budget. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak at this time? All right, hearing none. No more from the fiscal court members. Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bakker?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. I think we have another one. This is a second reading of ordinance 2025-004. It's a road department budget amendment.
Yes, an ordinance related to the budget amendment of the Madison County Road Department budget. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the administration of the county budget, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has realized unbudgeted receipts, and whereas the county treasurer has reviewed the budget to ensure sound financial practices. Now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Madison, Commonwealth of Kentucky, the road department budget be amended by $116,485. This ordinance shall become effective on the date of the second reading and adoption.
All right, thank you again, Sarah. Members of the court, you've heard ordinance 2025, second reading of ordinance 2025-004. Can I get a motion and a second to approve, please?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none. At this time, this is the second reading of ordinance 2025-004. Is anybody in the audience like to speak on behalf of this budget amendment for the road department? Hearing none. Hearing none from the court. Call the roll, please.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bakker?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Next, resolution 2025-019. This is household hazardous waste 2025-2026 application. Scott, good morning.
Morning. Resolution 2025-019, a resolution for application and administration of 2025-2026 Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Division of Waste Management Kentucky Pride Fund Household Hazardous Waste, HHW, Management Grant Funds. Whereas the Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet Division of Waste Management Kentucky Pride Fund Household Hazardous Waste Management Grant allows units of local government to apply for grant funds to be used to cover the cost of vendor services for the collection and proper management of household hazardous waste and for advertising costs associated with the collection event. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, Kentucky, desires to make an application for these 2025-2026 household hazardous waste management grant funds, and whereas these grant funds must be expended during the grant period of July 1, 2025 through June 30, 2026, and whereas Madison County Fiscal Court is requesting household hazardous waste management grant funds in an amount which will be specified in the grant application currently being prepared for submittal, and whereas there is a 25% local match required, which can be in kind or cash. Now therefore be it resolved this 25th day of March 2025 by Madison County, Kentucky, the judge executive and or his designee is hereby authorized to make application for these funds, and if the application is successful, to enter into agreements with Kentucky Energy and Environmental Cabinet Division of Waste Management to administer these grants, to execute any documents which are deemed necessary to facilitate and administer the award, and to act as the authorized correspondent for the above referenced project.
Thanks, Scott. It's a mouthful, I know. Members of the court, this is resolution 2025-019. Can I have a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
It's a great opportunity to, help our community and give them an opportunity to get rid of some of this stuff in their homes, and it doesn't end up where it doesn't belong. And
It's a great
thankful to have it.
program.
It just keeps getting bigger and better, doesn't it, Scott?
Yeah, I did bring the numbers from last year. The total grant request last year was $37,630.57. The project total cost $47,038.21, and the county's match was $9,407.64.
How many participated last year, Scott? Do you have the number?
I do not, but it was a
It's
record.
pretty big,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
record
Yeah, it was a
year,
record, yeah. And that ended up being actually the same day as like the Millstone Festival too, doesn't it?
That's correct.
In first Saturday in October?
First Saturday of October
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah, which follows Millstone
Yep.
Festival, yeah. Okay. Any questions? We do have a motion and a second to approve. Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Scott, appreciate it. Next is a resolution 2025-020. This is sale of surplus property. It's Jill.
Good morning. This is a resolution of the Madison County Fiscal Court approving the sale of surplus real property, whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to sell a vacant lot as surveyed by the Madison County Surveyor and identified in said survey as Lot E1, also known as Parcel 11, which is 2.49 acres, as found in Attachment A and supported with the legal description in Attachment B, as filed in Deed Book 569, page 168, in the office of the Madison County Clerk. In accordance with KRS 67.0802, the property was acquired as part of the Battlefield Golf Course by the county in 2004. The property is being sold in the public interest as it's no longer needed or used by the county. And whereas the county wishes to sell the old school building plus or minus 0.5 acres on New Road as described in Attachment C, as filed in Deed Book 55, page 265, in the office of the Madison County Clerk. In accordance with KRS 67.0802, the lot was previously used as a schoolhouse and acquired by the county in 1903. The property is being sold in the public interest as it no longer is needed or used by the county. Whereas the county wishes to sell the aforementioned properties by electronic auction in accordance with KRS 67.0802, subsection 4, subsection C, following publication of the auction, including a uniform resource link or a URL at www.govdeals/Madison County KY for the site of the electronic auction in accordance with KRS 424130. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to begin the process of placing the aforementioned properties for sale, as well as negotiating and executing the contracts for said properties on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Jill. Members of the court, you've heard resolution 2025-020. What's the pleasure of the court?
Make a motion.
Second.
Make a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
Is this the house?
There is no house.
Okay.
It's just an empty lot. This is on Battlefield, this is on 25.
Yeah.
It's on US 25. There is no house on US
Okay.
25 that the county has ever owned. Unless you're telling me
On
something that
25, yeah, I'm thinking about,
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Memorial Highway, yeah, 421. This is actually, just a little parcel that sits in between, Battlefield Place subdivision and Battlefield, Estates. It's closer to Battlefield Place subdivision.
valuable little lot probably then.
Yeah, I mean, it had a pretty decent appraisal, on it, which by KRS, it has to be started at the appraisal. I mean, obviously we can take more, we can't accept less for
Yeah.
now. So we'll, what do they call that in an auction?
A reserve.
A reserve. There'll be reserves on both these properties that it starts out at. Yep.
The one on the property on New Road, didn't we try to sell it once before?
No, we never
First
have,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, the county and all that research back in 2018, 19, I guess, we didn't even, we really didn't even know.
Found it.
Yeah, we found it. We didn't even know. It's just a little half acre of old schoolhouse. What it was. That's just the way they did.
I don't even know where it's at, I couldn't.
Well, New Road, you know where New Road is? If you go to the end of Pussy Ridge, basically, and turn left.
Pussy Ridge.
Yeah.
Turn left.
Turn left, yeah.
And then go further.
And then go for a little farther, yeah.
They call it New Road.
Yeah. It ain't very new, I
Yeah.
don't think.
It was kind of interesting. We found out that the county acquired it in 1903 through some help of Kenny's staff
1903.
and.
Yeah. I guess that's the way they did things back there, because you probably didn't have a school board, and so the fiscal court was more involved in those little one-room school houses and things throughout the county, so, yeah. But anyway.
Did you go to school there? You didn't go to school there, though.
That's wrong end of the county for me. I'm on the other end.
You're everywhere.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, we do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2025-020. Call the roll, please.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jill. Next, Resolution 2025-0221. This is Madison County Utilities Board appointment.
This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County Utilities District Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County Utilities District Board members, and whereas the current term for John Thomas is set to expire March 30th, 2025, and whereas John Thomas has proven his capability in serving as a member of the Madison County Utilities District Board and is willing to continue serving in this capacity, and whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found John Thomas as fit for the position as of Madison County Utilities District Board member. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Jill. Members of the court, you've heard Resolution 2025-021. Can I have a motion and a second to approve, please?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second? Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 2025-022, Madison County EMS Board appointment. Jill.
This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Madison County EMS Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Madison County EMS Board members, and the current term for Jill Cornelison is set to expire April 1st, 2025. And whereas Jill Cornelison has proven her capability in serving as a member of the Madison County EMS Board and is willing to continue serving in this capacity. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Jill Cornelison as fit for the position as board member of the Madison County EMS Board. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Jill Cornelison as our, or reappointment to Jill Cornelison to our EMS Board. Any discussion?
Judge, I always want to thank those that want to serve, and for John and Jill's willingness to participate in this, we do appreciate it.
They're good appointments, so good service, so appreciate the comments, Brian. Anyone else? Call the roll, please.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. All right, next, Resolution 2025-023, Madison County Fire Department Standard Operating Procedures and Standard Operating Guidelines. Chief.
Good morning. Resolution 2025-023, a resolution for the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve Madison County Fire Department Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs, and Standard Operating Guidelines, SOGs. Whereas the Madison County Fire Department MCFD chief has identified the need to have SOPs and SOGs for the daily operation and functions of the Madison County Fire Department. And whereas the SOPs and SOGs shall be reviewed and updated annually, and whereas all MCFD employees are required to acknowledge receipt of and follow the MCFD SOPs and SOGs, and whereas the updated MCFD SOPs and SOGs shall become effective April 1st, 2025. Now therefore it be resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
I believe there needs to be a mic drop right there, you know. SOG. I never heard so many acronyms all in a row. You did good.
Well, he's gotten better since he started, hasn't he?
Judge?
Yeah, he might have been cussing.
You was giving Chris a run for his money there, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Members of the court, you've heard Resolution 2025-023. What's the pleasure of the court?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
Hey, Chief, I just want to say, I didn't have the mental capacity this week to go over all your documents, but I promise you, in the future, here as we go forward, I'll get a good look at those and get back with you on.
There was just one major update, and that was number 454, the alert notification app. That was a new one that was brought to our attention, and we put it in there this year, so.
You know how I am. I just like to read your stuff. So.
Yep. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all very much. We do have a motion and a second to approve. No more discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Next, Resolution 2025-024 is a Valley View Ferry appointment. Jill.
Yes, this is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Valley View Ferry Board. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Valley View Ferry Board members. And whereas the Valley View Ferry Board has a vacant member position. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found Tom D. Thomas as fit for the position as board member of the Valley View Ferry Board. Now therefore it be resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Help me understand Robin again, please.
He's fulfilling someone's current term.
Right, I know that, but what about May 9th? We're not starting him till May 9th, is that what you're saying?
This is Tom Thomas.
Tom Thomas is, yeah, we're not gonna start his term until May 9th. That way he will serve a
Full term, right. Yeah, since it's so close to May 9th, we're going to actually have him start on May 9th, so it'll be a full term. Okay, I already understand. Just want to be clear for the court. All right. Members of the court, we do have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Buckin?
Yes.
Commissioner Combs?
Yes.
Commissioner Lockmuller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, resolution 2025-025. This is also a Valley View Ferry Board appointment. Jill.
This is a resolution for the appointment of the Madison County Fiscal Court to the Valley View Ferry Board. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court is responsible for the appointment of Valley View Ferry Board members. And whereas the Valley View Ferry Board has a vacant board member position. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has found James Laird as fit for the position as board member of the Valley View Ferry Board. Now therefore it be resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-025. Any discussion?
Judge, just make us 100% of all the members that we need down there now.
Yes, it does for the fiscal court, it does.
How about for the other counties?
I'm not sure. I can find that out for you, Tom, but I don't know about that. It seems like maybe Jessamine County has one.
I think
They're
we have
short.
one.
They're short, but, now, this gentleman here, James is, he's retired Coast Guard. And actually retired, and then actually moved to, down in the Baldwin Valley View, area. And so, he came and reached out to us. We actually had a meeting with him, and I'm excited about his appointment. I mean, I'm excited about all of our appointments, but, this one, especially with our Valley View Ferry Boat having to comply with federal Coast Guard regulations, this will be right up his alley. He'd be a good appointment. I'm sure he'll help us a lot, so. James Laird, is that right? James
Yes.
Laird, yeah.
L-A-I-R-D.
Yeah, James Laird, L-A-I-R-D, yeah.
I'd just also like to say, Judge Steve, that we appreciate your service down there on the board while you were down there. So thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-025. Hearing nothing else, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Combs?
Yes.
Commissioner Lockmuller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, let's see, resolution 2025-026, official payroll breakdown for cost-shared employees. Sarah?
Yes. A resolution for the Madison County Fiscal Court approving an official payroll breakdown for Madison County cost-shared employees to comply with the Kentucky Emergency Management KYEM and Federal Emergency Management Agency FEMA standard operating procedures. Whereas in order to comply with KYEM and FEMA standard operating procedures, the Madison County Fiscal Court County shall provide an official payroll breakdown for cost-shared county employees. And whereas the official payroll breakdowns for cost-shared county employees are attached here to this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-026. Any comments? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Lockmuller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Buckin?
Yes.
Commissioner Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Next, order 2025-001, extend tax deadlines for filing year 2024. Filing year 2024. 24, yes, okay. It's always confusing. This tax is up 24 that are done in 25, okay.
I'm gonna get Chris to read this one right here, because it's kind of long.
Yep.
He can do it in about 15 seconds.
I can do it, I think.
Sarah?
In order for the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve an extension of tax deadlines for filing year 2024. Whereas the federal government has announced extensions for the tax filing deadline for the state of Kentucky, moving the due date for income tax returns from April 15th, 2025 to November 3rd, 2025, due to severe storms and weather and a federal disaster declaration. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes the need to align local tax filing deadlines with federal deadlines to provide residents and businesses with adequate time to comply with their tax obligations. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has determined that it is in the best interest of the citizens and businesses of Madison County to extend the deadline for filing of net profit tax returns to coincide with the new federal tax filing deadline of November 3rd, 2025. All other relevant provisions and obligations regarding the net profit tax filing and payment process remain in effect. And whereas the November 3rd, 2025 deadline also applies to quarterly payroll returns normally due on April 30th, July 31st, and October 31st, 2025. And whereas in accordance with the Treasury regulation, the order will remain in effect from April 15th, 2025 until November 3rd, 2025, notwithstanding Ordinance 06-18. Now therefore be it resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court does hereby approve this order and authorizes the judge executive and or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Sarah. Members of the court, you've heard order 2025-001. What's the pleasure of the court?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Does the state apply, doing this too? I mean, the state has moved their deadline.
Yes, this is for all of the state of Kentucky.
Yes, all the state of Kentucky.
A lot of people don't know about this.
What'd you say, Jill? Yeah, I mean, all local governments here in Madison County have done it.
But the state has done the same thing too.
Yes, yeah. That's really why we're doing it. It's because the state income tax.
We're mandated by the state, right?
Right, the Treasury, because of the storms that happened.
Yeah.
That has moved it all, and so CPA firms have reached out to us to be consistent with the state. Has asked the locals to do the same. Richmond and Berea and the county all agreed to do it. That's why we're voting on this today. So.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't maybe mean other local governments and other counties are acknowledging it. I don't know about that. I just know that we are. Yeah. In preparation, this is going to get approved today. You know, it's not approved yet, but we do have a motion and a second to approve. So, any other questions? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. So now all three governments have approved that. So, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next is personnel. Jessica. Good morning.
Morning. Members of the board, we would like to ask you to approve the hiring recommendations that's in your court packet.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Does this include the one that you all were speaking of earlier?
It does,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So, with that one, we had sent the offer letter and it had went to the wrong email address. And so he's reached back out and said, okay, I've got it to you at this point. But we just had him send a text just saying that he did officially accept the offer, so.
I just want to make sure we capture that.
Yes, that was a returning seasonal for the golf
Yeah,
courses
for the golf
as
course
well.
maintenance, yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the hiring recommendations as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next is employee spotlight. Jill, kicking and screaming.
We rock, paper, scissors over who was going to do this morning, but it really is my pleasure to spotlight today's employee spotlight. He is fairly new to the county, and he started with us in June of last year, and this week's spotlight is Donnie Powell, who is our facilities and custodial supervisor. And for those of you who have met Donnie, you can know what a great addition he has been to the county in many, many ways. And he had actually several anonymous nominations for him, and this is what his colleagues had to say about him. Donnie is always on the go and works so hard. He tries his best to make sure the needs of each department are met every single day. He's willing to take on any task you ask of him. He takes pride in his work and isn't afraid to get his hands or clothes dirty. He is polite and respectful to everyone he meets. Donnie's smile, friendly personality, and positivity can make a long workday seem a little brighter. He's a great asset to the county, a colleague. So,
Yeah, that's good. He is great. I wish he was here today. Yeah.
He's a hard one to get out from
He
the
is, yeah.
from the.
He doesn't
but,
like spotlight.
He does not, and so he probably would not be very favorable of this. But I know some of the other elected officials have had the opportunity to get to know Donnie a little bit and working with his team and cleaning their spaces, and he is truly he's truly a blessing to the county.
He is. Well, he can go back and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do appreciate it.
Jill, I've walked through the offices there to come into meetings or whatever and met him, and you're right, he's always got a very pleasant face and attitude and says hello, and so glad that he got recognized.
Yeah, we are lucky to have him. He's actually also a EKU retiree, and so he came to us looking for a retirement job, and so it's a great fit.
Yeah, we're glad to have him. Sure. Appreciate you, Jill. Thank you. Next, the judge's report. I do have a few announcements. I do want to let, of course, this is Billy Ray's district, but effective April 1st, 2025, the intersection at Mobley Road and Charlie Norris Road will become a four-way stop. Appreciate Scott and the road department for making this happen. There are message boards that are going to be up at both ends when you're on Mobley Road coming up to Charlie Norris, trying to make people aware that there is going to be a four-way stop there now. We've had several accidents there over the years, and so we really hope that our stop signs stay up, and we're going to work with the Sheriff's Department on making sure that there's some patrol going on out there. So really, if you live in that area or you know people in that area, please help us get the message out that that's going to become a four-way stop. Most people are used to stopping on Charlie Norris, which is a state route, but not stopping on Moberly. But it'll be a four-way stop starting April 1st. The Berea Chamber of Commerce is proud to offer two $1,000 Future Leader Scholarships, one for a Berea Community School senior and one for Madison Southern High School senior. Application will be accepted until April 18th and can be submitted via email to info@bereachamber.org, dropped off in person at 304 I guess that's 304 Suite A, Chestnut Street, Berea, or mailed to P.O. Box 1954, Berea, Kentucky 4403. All eligible seniors are encouraged to apply. Join us for our District 1 Town Hall meeting. It'll be at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, April 10th at Central Kentucky Regional Airport. This event is open to the public for community discussion, so anybody that wants to attend that, magistrates, department heads, anybody that wants to come, elected officials, please join us for that event, again, on April the 10th at 5:30 p.m. at Central Kentucky Regional Airport. And then visit our website at www.madisoncountyky.gov/community events to see a list of some of the events happening throughout our community. If you have an event you would like to feature on this page, simply click on the Submit an Event button and complete the form, and then it'll be listed on there as well. End of my report. Appreciate everybody. Billy Ray.
Yeah, I just want to put in another plug for updating our comprehensive plan, just like the Trails Group was talking about, and the City of Richmond. They're in the process of updating theirs, and City of Berea is in the process of updating theirs. I know we're a year ahead from in front of the 5 years, but it's close enough, and the way we're exploding in growth, we're the second or third fastest growing county, and things is happening mighty fast. I think it's just a good opportunity. It's not my idea. You know, I'm just taking a suggestion. I think the City of Richmond, they offered a kind of an olive branch to try to work together on updating our comprehensive plans. I'm just throwing that plug in there, and that's about all I got to say about that.
Is there something, Billy Ray, that you think that we're not working with them on, or?
Well, I just
are you
think,
hearing something out there that?
I just know that, you know, when we did what I hear when we updated our comprehensive plan 4 years ago, we weren't very satisfied with the citizen input. We thought it was very lame, but with the growth that we're experiencing, I think you're going to get a lot more input from the citizens, and which I think is very important because, you know, going forward, what's our vision for the city and the county, and I think it's just a golden opportunity for us to sit down and look at the big picture.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that. I just wanna make sure that you say it in a way that we're not working with the Richmond or Berea. We are.
Well,
We are in meetings with them, you know, with their leadership team and our leadership team. I just wanna make sure that people know, because you stated in a way that we're not. We are working with them. And I wanna make sure that people know that we are. You know, I've told you that we are, and we are. Burke's been in meetings with Amanda Haney and Kevin Causey, which are both the Berea and Richmond's people. And
I
so,
want you with Mayor Fraley and Mayor Blythe to sit down and talk about this.
well, when that opportunity happens, then I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has not happened.
But that's what that's
I want
kinda
you in
where
a
I'm-
meeting with Mike Brewer and Jerry Little.
Well, I'll be glad to have coffee with them
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. So, all right, Tom.
I was a member of that comprehensive team, Judge, that we put together, and I think, let's see, I can't remember if we had any Zoom meetings on that. It's been too long ago now, but in those meetings that I attended, there was always a good diversity of the folks, some that just walked in, but members across the community that had been selected, that from all different types of industries, financial, manufacturing, retail. Banking, yeah, there was just a good selection of folks that seemed like they were always at those meetings, you know. The thing that Billy Ray, in my opinion, refers to sometimes about this issue is the fact that the citizenry, you know, they're just people. Listen, here's what they want to do. They want to get up, they want to go to work, they want to make their house payment, their car payment, they want to feed 2 kids, they want to go to baseball practice, football practice, soccer practice. Daggone, I missed that meeting tonight. I sure wished I'd went over and heard what they had to say. You know, that's, unfortunately, life is busy, and a lot of people just don't care about that. That's just the bottom line. That's why you pick a good, diverse group to come in there and provide you representation for that, and I think we had a really good group for that.
I tell you one thing we have missed, I believe I'm correct on this, is we haven't had the input of a professional urban planner. Even in the city of Richmond, you couldn't deny that. If you look at the traffic patterns and the way we're growing, so having a professional urban planner to help us plan these neighborhoods. She was talking about the connectivity of developments, and I think that we as a community could stand to have that professional urban planning input because of the way we're growing. If we was Estill County, it'd be a different story, but we're a big boy county now, one of the biggest in the state.
I just want to make sure we distinctly make sure that people understand we don't have anything to do with Richmond planning and zoning.
Well,
We work with them, but they make their own decisions.
I know that,
And
and
so we're sitting here
that's what we need to work on.
Then I would say, and I'll do anything I can to help you, you go lead that charge. You go lead that charge to get that connectivity with Richmond. I'll be right there with you. I'll help you.
Do that. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, just to get back on track here, especially since we passed the resolution today extending the tax thing, it never seems to amaze me at how creative some population of society will be to keep from holding a regular job. And what I'm talking about, in case you can't put that together, I'm talking about crooks. All right, and this is prime crook season right now. I've heard of more crap that's going on with people trying to get your tax return than I've ever seen in my life, and thought that I was physically witnessing one yesterday afternoon when I saw a letter from somebody that had been to a professional tax person, done their tax for them, and they get this letter that's supposedly from the IRS that's wanting them to send them a video and their driver's license and all this documentation, and I'm like, that's the craziest thing I've heard in my life. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just saying, there's things out there, so please just be aware and double check the facts, and don't just give people, just cause somebody calls you and says, I'm from the IRS, don't give them your information. There's other ways to verify all that stuff first. I'm done with that. Last for me, Judge, is I've had a week, and I apologize, and my phone has gotten messages and emails that I need to get caught up on this week, and I'll do my best to do that. And for anyone else that wants to get in that line, you can reach me at 200-9765.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. Brian?
Judge, I'm good. I'm just glad to be here.
Glad to be here, brother. Appreciate you.
Ditto.
All right.
Glad to be here.
Kenny, you got anything?
If I go about another 9 minutes, we're gonna set a record, I think, for the longest
Very
meeting. But I won't do that. We have done well and getting a lot done today in a short amount of time, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. Counselor? Sheriff? No, sir. Good. Appreciate you all. Not there yet. Not there yet. Comments from department heads. I think Jill's gonna talk to us.
Jill's gonna fill in. No, we need to set a record
I've
today.
got 9 minutes, so I gotta talk
Yeah.
real slow. Hopefully this doesn't take that long, but Magistrate Botkin actually brought this up a few court meetings ago about our home incarceration cost, and we took that as an opportunity to do a little cost-benefit analysis to show what that has looked like and then what it looks like now, so I just want to share a little bit of that with you all. As some of you will remember, we transitioned and moved to a contract basis for our home incarceration program back in the 2023-2024 budget. So at that time, we had that first budget year, we had a little bit of contract and a little bit of in-house staff taking care of that. But if you kind of look back over the last 4 years of what that looks like, we essentially were paying out our last full year of having that program in-house ran by our detention center. We were paying out about $172,963.70 in total expenses, generating revenue of $24,955 for a net income of let me clarify that, a loss of $148,007.81. So that's what it looked like as we were contracting that, or we were doing that in-house. When we moved over to 2023-2024 year, that changed drastically. We experienced a loss, financial loss of $47,639. Right now this year, we're looking at $26,000 loss, $26,448. If we annualize that, it'll be $39,672. But taking that a little bit step further, and looking at, hey, that is the actual expenses that are coming with that. But what is also has to be calculated into this is the inmate days that are not in our jail, which is also at a cost. So if you look at that, just total inmate days, and the way that that contracted service works is the fiscal court only pays for the indigent population. So they only pay for the inmates who do not have a private attorney, a court-appointed public defender. I knew I was going to get that wrong. I was looking at Jenny like through osmosis. But so those are the only inmates on the home incarceration program that we pay for. The others pay directly through the company and for that service themselves when the courts approve them for home incarceration. So looking at that for that first contract year, that was a total number of inmate days of 14,973. Which equates to jail cost avoidance of $524,055. For this year, right now, we're the jail cost avoidance of $249,690, and then that'll annualize to $374,535. So obviously, home incarceration is something that a lot of people are involved in from the judicial process, and Jenny can speak to that more about how that works with the judges and the Commonwealth attorney and the county attorney, and who's the right fit for putting someone on home incarceration, because it's not everyone. But just so that you all know and understand, that's kind of what the financial model has looked like from that transition before it being an in-house service versus a contracted service. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm sure Jenny will too.
All right, thank you. Appreciate the update. And anybody wants this report, I'm sure we can send it to them, right? Yep.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jill. Appreciate the update. Any other department heads? Anybody else? All right, public comment. Anybody? You good?
Just a little bit. That's one what Billy Ray said. I'm not gonna be up there that long.
No, go ahead. Well, nobody will be able to hear you, but I appreciate you coming up. Absolutely. We don't get audience comments very often, so I love it when we do get it.
You're a VIP anyway. You come.
Tell them your name. Tell them who you are.
Shelby Rollins. I've been a Madison County resident for going on 72 years now. Loving every minute of it. But along with what Billy Ray said, along with the city and county getting together, you know, I go to both meetings. I go to Fiscal Court, and I like these better. and I go to the city commissioners meetings. And, you know, it's not right to get on Facebook and try to run your campaign or your thoughts. And then, you know, Facebook lets you put anything on there now. I put something on Facebook. It ain't lies. The last thing I put on was the love and light of my life right there with her birthday. Yeah. And I know that's the truth, you know. Yeah. But they get on there and flat lie, you know. I go to those meetings and I say, it's a lie. Why are you saying that? And then putting it on Facebook. Yeah. I know you all have refuted some of that, you know. But if they don't want to work with you, you know, it's a hard job, you know. But I know you're doing your best. And like I know you all are here now, used to be in their chambers. Well, there was probably a disagreement there, wasn't there? You know. That's all I got to say about that.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the words of encouragement.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you all
a
for
lot.
coming and participating in the meetings. We always love to see you here and encourage others to do the same.
And you might get your lunch bought for those comments. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. Anyone else this time? All right. Hearing none, I need a motion and a second to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Mr. Lockmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Bucket?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next meeting is April 8th, 2025. It'll be in Berea at 9:30 a.m. Again, our next fiscal court meeting, April 8th, 2025. That will be in Berea at 9:30 a.m. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Lockmiller?
Yes.
Mr. Hughes?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Too many motions.